Russia suspected in federal court filing system hack, a detailed breakdown of the breach, the risks, and the road ahead. Introduction. The United States federal judiciary is confronting one of the most serious cybersecurity incidents in its history. Hackers penetrated the court system's electronic filing infrastructure, gaining access to sealed and highly sensitive legal documents. Investigators suspect the breach involved actors linked to Russia, though no final attribution has been announced. This article examines the timeline of the intrusion, how it was discovered, what data was compromised, and how the federal court system is responding. All information comes from multiple corroborated news reports, court memos, and official statements. 1. The discovery of the breach. In July 2025, unusual activity was detected within PACER, Public Access to Court Electronic Records, and CM/ECF, Case Management/Electronic Case Files, the judiciary's nationwide systems for filing, storing, and retrieving court documents. PACER allows the public to view non-sealed case filings for a fee. CM/ECF is used internally by courts to store both public and confidential documents. An internal investigation revealed that attackers may have been inside the system for years, possibly since 2021, exploiting flaws that were first documented as early as 2020. 2. How PACER and CM/ECF work, and why they matter. To understand the significance of this breach, it helps to know how these systems operate. PACER, Public Access to Court Electronic Records, is a publicly accessible database. It contains millions of federal court documents, civil, criminal, and bankruptcy filings that can be searched and downloaded by attorneys, journalists, researchers, and the public for a small per-page fee. It is designed for transparency and public accountability. CM/ECF, Case Management/Electronic Case Files, is the judiciary's internal case management system. Every filing, whether public or sealed, flows through CM/ECF first. This includes unserved search warrants, draft indictments, national security-related filings, judges' internal notes and orders. While PACER shows only documents designated as public, CM/ECF holds the full universe of case material, including the most sensitive records. Because CM/ECF and PACER are interconnected, a breach of CM/ECF can effectively open a window into the nation's most closely guarded legal proceedings. 3. Suspected perpetrators. Multiple reports citing intelligence officials indicate the attackers were linked to Russia, though it remains unclear whether they were directly sponsored by the Russian state or associated with Russian-speaking cybercrime groups. No U.S. government agency has yet issued a public formal attribution. The New York Times, Reuters, Politico, and The Verge have all reported that Russia is the leading suspect, based on both the targeting patterns and forensic indicators in the breach. 4. Scope of the breach. 4.1 Courts affected. The exact list remains confidential, but available reporting indicates between 8 and 12 U.S. district courts were targeted. Confirmed or likely affected jurisdictions include South Dakota, Missouri, Iowa, Minnesota, Arkansas. Districts in New York City, Southern and Eastern districts. 4.2 Targeting patterns. Some searches within the breached systems appeared to focus on sealed criminal and national security cases involving individuals with Russian or Eastern European surnames, especially in New York City's federal courts. 5. Data compromised. 5.1 Types of records accessed. The breach involved documents that are normally kept sealed and inaccessible to the public, including indictments that had not yet been made public, unserved search warrants, details on ongoing counterintelligence and national security investigations, identities of confidential informants and cooperating witnesses. 5.2 System source code theft. In at least 3 federal district courts, attackers also accessed and copied portions of the CM/ECF source code. This could allow them to replicate, analyze, or exploit the system in more targeted future attacks. 6. How the hack was possible. 6.1 Known vulnerabilities. According to Politico and other outlets, The judiciary had known about certain CM/ECF vulnerabilities since at least 2020. These included lack of two-factor authentication for many accounts, inconsistent patching and update schedules due to decentralized IT management, over 200 separate instances of CM/ECF, each maintained locally by individual courts with varying security measures. 6.2 Decentralized infrastructure. The federal judiciary's IT structure is not centralized like many other federal agencies. Each district court largely manages its own version of CM/ECF, making coordinated security upgrades slow and uneven. 7. Timeline of key events. Date/period. Event. 2020. Federal cybersecurity experts identify vulnerabilities in CM/ECF. Warnings are issued. 2021. Suspected start of intrusion activity, based on later forensic analysis. 2022. Members of Congress warn judiciary officials about risks of outdated systems. July 2025. Suspicious access patterns detected in Pacer/CM/ECF. Internal investigation launched. Early August 2025. Memo sent to chief judges warning of persistent and sophisticated cyber threat actors. Mid-August 2025. Multiple news outlets report Russia as the suspected actor behind the breach. Copy table. Immediate response. 8.1 Internal alerts. On August 2 to 3, 2025, federal judiciary leaders sent internal memos directing courts to remove sensitive and sealed documents from the online system, stop submitting certain filings electronically, review all access logs for anomalies. 8.2 Operational changes. Courts in New York, Washington, and Virginia issued orders prohibiting sealed filings through Pacer, instead requiring offline or encrypted drive submissions. 9. Long-term security overhaul. The judiciary has announced a multi-phase modernization plan. Encryption upgrades for all stored and transmitted documents. Centralized security monitoring to detect breaches faster. Two-factor authentication for all system access. Temporary return to paper filings for the most sensitive cases. Development of a new unified case management platform to replace CM/ECF. 10. Potential risks and implications. 10.1 Informant safety. The exposure of informant names could put lives at risk, especially in organized crime or counterterrorism cases. 10.2 Ongoing investigations. If suspects learn of sealed indictments early, they could flee, destroy evidence, or change behavior to avoid detection. 10.3 Criminal marketplace use. Officials are investigating whether stolen data has been sold to other criminal groups, including Latin American drug cartels. 11. Case example: how a breach could impact an ongoing investigation. Consider a hypothetical but realistic scenario. A sealed indictment is filed in federal court against a member of an organized crime syndicate. The indictment includes the names of 2 confidential informants who have provided key testimony. If attackers accessed and leaked this indictment before it became public, the suspect could disappear before arrest. The informants could be targeted for retaliation. Months or years of investigative work could collapse, forcing prosecutors to drop charges. While this example is illustrative, similar risks are exactly why officials have treated the breach as a national security concern. 12. Historical parallels. The court system hack joins a short list of large-scale U.S. government breaches with potentially long-lasting consequences. OPM data breach, 2015, exposed personal information of more than 21 million federal employees, later attributed to Chinese hackers. SolarWinds cyberattack, 2020, infiltrated multiple federal agencies via a compromised software update, widely attributed to Russian intelligence. Microsoft Exchange Server breach, 2021, exploited vulnerabilities in widely used email software, attributed to Chinese state-linked groups. In scale, the court filing system breach is smaller in number of records exposed, but its sensitivity is arguably higher due to the nature of sealed legal documents and potential risks to ongoing criminal cases. 13. Missed opportunities and prior warnings. The breach highlights long-standing issues in the federal court system's cybersecurity approach. After the 2020 SolarWinds hack, federal agencies including the judiciary were advised to perform full network security audits. Congressional hearings in 2022 raised concerns about funding delays for modernization. Despite repeated alerts, some courts postponed implementing key defenses, citing budget and resource constraints. 14. What comes next? Attribution and legal action. U.S. intelligence agencies are working to confirm the source of the breach. If individuals are identified, the Department of Justice could issue indictments, even if the suspects are outside U.S. jurisdiction. Legislative review. Lawmakers may push for centralized cybersecurity oversight for the judiciary, removing the current decentralized model. Ongoing monitoring. All federal courts are reviewing past sealed cases for signs of tampering or leaks. Summary table. Category. Details. Period of breach. Likely 2021 to 2025. Suspected actors. Russian linked. Exact affiliation TBD. Systems affected. Pacer &CM/ECF. Data exposed. Sealed documents, informants, search warrants, system source code. Courts impacted. 8 to 12 district courts. Key vulnerabilities. No 2FA, decentralized infrastructure, unpatched flaws. Immediate response. Offline filing, memos to judges. Long-term response. Modernization, encryption, central monitoring. Risks. Informant safety, case compromise, organized crime exploitation. Copy table. Conclusion. The federal court system hack stands as a stark reminder of the vulnerabilities in critical U.S. infrastructure. While the suspected involvement of Russian-linked actors points to a significant foreign threat, the incident also exposes systemic weaknesses that had been flagged for years. The judiciary's planned reforms may help close these security gaps, but for now, the breach has already caused potentially irreversible damage. Its full scope and the identity of those responsible may not be fully known for years.